Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV. With check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV. Bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV. The best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal. Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV. With check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV. Bringing you face to face with news.
nurses and midwives had ended with the adoption of a SysCom resolution aimed at running the affairs of the institution for a term of 2 years. The resolution, among other things, stressed the need to reorientate national system, primary health care, and call for strengthening community level partnership. The resolution had Julian Mills also called for inter-collaboration with medical and scientific institutions of Black Mounds in order to enhance healthcare delivery. The meeting, which was held on the collaboration and partnership towards improving quality healthcare in the West African region, brought together over 450 nurses and midwives from 8 countries, including Cameroon, Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Gambia, and the host country, Liberia. The John F. Kennedy Medical Center has announced the resumption of its dialysis services following weeks of technical issues restored the operation. According to a release, the dialysis service marks a significant milestone in restoring life-saving care for patients with kidney failure. The release indicated that the resumption of the service coincides with the government commitment to provide equitable healthcare services for all Liberians. Meanwhile, John F. Kennedy Medical Center is encouraging patients to visit Renault Unit for rescheduling and medical assessment. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn over the weekend led mediation efforts aimed at settling prolonged dispute between the family of slain President Samuel Kyan Dode and Grand Jita County Senator Zoe Emmanuel Pennon. The dialogue, which seeks to embrace reconciliation and end years of disunity between both families, was held at the home of former President. Vice President Cohn mediation efforts came amid visible rift between Grand Jita County Senator Zoe Emmanuel Pennon and Mamie Dode, daughter of the deceased Samuel Kyan Dode. He expressed disappointment over Senator Pennon's absence, citing ongoing tension between the two as a source of division. Cohn revealed that separate conversation with both parties confirmed lingering disagreement, something he says has overshadowed the funeral preparations of the wife of the former President Nancy Dode. The National Public Health Institute of Liberia has announced additional cases of monkeypox virus, increasing the number of active cases to 69. There is no death reported so far. In a release, the NPHL indicated that the new cases coincide with a testing done at the National Reference Laboratory. Meanwhile, the National Public Health Institute of Liberia has called for the observance of several health protocols aimed at preventing further spread of the virus. The move, which comes amid heightening prevalence of the virus, is geared towards mitigating the current transmission of the virus in public gathering. The head of the West African Examination Council, Deli Boto, has named examination malpractice as a significant issue faced by the council. In a radio interview recently, Dr. Boto linked technology advancement as a serious issue, which, according to him, is fostering dishonest behavior among students. The White Balls revealed that some individuals are even pretending to be students to sit the examination test, something he blamed the school authorities. He warned students to desist from paying others to assist them during the examination, adding that it contributes to their failure. Meanwhile, Dali Boto also announced that WAEC exam results will be released before August 15, a move he says is in line with the directive of the Ministry of Education. The Financial Intelligence Agency has summoned Monrovia City Mayor John Siafad regarding serious allegations of corruption at the Monrovia City Corporation. The FIA said it has gathered intelligence on various activities of the MCC which violates established laws. The allegations include arbitrary deductions of employee salaries, the issuance of fictitious receipt to taxpayer, payroll paddling, among other allegations. The agency head, Mohammed Nasser, is requesting a series of documents from the Office of Mayor CFR to assist with the FIA analysis and investigation. The Monrovia City Mayor is expected to provide requested information to the FIA to facilitate the investigation. The Liberia Council of Churches has rejected a claim made by Bishop of the Don Stewart Christ Pentecostal Church alleged that the president has taken the council as an auxiliary of the Unity Party-led government. On Wednesday, Bishop Tolbert Dixon in a press conference alleged that Reverend Dr. Samuel Reese is using the LCC as a springboard to win favor from the Unity Party-led government. Delivering the state of the LCC address at the second date of the General Assembly, Reverend Dr. Reed claimed that a statement made by Bishop Dixon lacks any iota of truth. According to Reverend Dr. Rees, Bishop Nixon should have attended the General Assembly just to prove his allegation. The presiding justice in chamber at the Supreme Court has mandated George Wills, resident judge of the 7th Judicial Circuit Court in Grangeda County, to halt legal proceedings in the defendant Davis Nangwe criminal case after he denied the defendant motion for bail. Defendant Nangwe had been accused of statutory rape, but during his trial at the 7th Judicial Circuit Court in 2024, the jury refused to convict or to acquit him for his offense. Associate Justice Shannon Clinton Johnson, May 27, 2025, action was triggered by a petition for a writ of Pretoria 5 by defense lawyers Counsel Moses Rennie before the High Court, seeking to overturn Judge Wills' legal decision consistent with Chapter 16, Section 16.12 of the Criminal Procedure Law. However, Justice Clinton has cited all parties to appear for a legal conference on Tuesday, June 17, as provided by law. Counsel Rennie's petition to the court is challenging Judge Willis' ruling when he denied defendant Nangwe's motion to admit to a bill consistent with Chapter 13, Section 13.1 of the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. Counsel Rennie argued that Judge Willis erred to deny his client bail, especially when the jury's client to be bailed consistent with Chapter 13, Section 13.1 of the Criminal Procedure Law. Scores of citizens of New Georgia Township have expressed concern over recent statement made by Montserrado County Superintendent Troy Bryant. Superintendent Bryant has since called for the establishment of the New Georgia Township Council, but the aggrieved citizens say Superintendent Bryant does not hold legitimate right to do so. The citizens contend the alleged statement is an overlap of responsibility of the office of the superintendent. Concerns continue to sound as citizens claim the action of the superintendent could potentially dissolve the existing structures of the governing councils in New Georgia Township. In a release, Superintendent Bryant also claimed his action did not violate any law, adding that it is consistent with the Local Government Act of 2018. He added that the Township Council when established, will create an enabling environment for coordination, fostering healthy working relationship with Township Commissioners. As part of the government Operation Sindal, and in line with the Indian government principle and a resolute stance against terrorism, an all-party parliamentarian delegation comprising members of Parliament has arrived in Monrovia. The visit underscores India's overwhelming message of zero tolerance towards terrorism in all forms and manifestations. The delegation was received upon arrival at the Rabbits International Airport recently. Ambassador Manja Bahari, Ambassador of India to Liberia, Representative Sekou Kanan, Montserrado County District 2, Representative and Chairman of House Executive Committee Prince Tour received the Indian delegation. Members of the Indian delegations included Mrs. Basuran Swari, Mr. Mohammed Bashir, and Atu Sams, among others. A former legislative candidate in District 16, Montserrado County, has called for price stability in the transportation of containers from the National Port Authority to business institutions in the country. Achisano said the lack of price stability is creating problems for owners of trucks transporting containers from the MP8 and other concession areas in Liberia. Santa made a call when he performed the official launching of a fund drive for the construction of a parking lot for the Liberia National Truckers Union during the induction of the newly elected officers of the organization during the weekend. Meanwhile, the newly inducted president of the Liberia National Truckers Union, Umaru Fofana, has assured the Liberian government that its leadership will ensure 100% tax compliance throughout the country. Fofana added that his leadership also ensures that truck plying the routes are road-watered in order to ensure the safety of the public and business of their client. Others inducted during the ceremony were Ibrahim Morba, Vice President Yahya Kemuka, Secretary General Fatou Lamin, Treasurer, among others. The Ministry of Labor is expected to commence a nationwide audit of work permit at all business and concession areas in Liberia. A Labor Ministry release caused a communication signed by Minister Copper Crowd that the exercise to be kicked off Monday, June 2nd, is to ensure that all aliens employed within the Republic of Liberia are operating in compliance with the terms on which their work permits were granted. The audit is also intended to ensure individual non-Liberians in possession of work permits with companies and concession areas are engaged in the job prescribed by work permit application. The ministry is said to have observed an alarming trend wherein employers misrepresent actual job roles of alien employees during the permit application process, especially application for renewal. Report from River County says 3 inmates, including 2 convicted criminals, have reportedly escaped from the Fishtown Central Prison following jailbreak. The 2 convicted criminals were Nelson Jolo, Samuel Toll, while the others' escapee names remain unknown. The actual cause of the jailbreak still remain unknown, as prison authority in the county is tight-lipped on the matter. At the same time, the assigned judge at the 15th Judicial Circuit Court has sentenced 3 defendants to separate prison term after they pleaded guilty to the commission of their respective criminal offenses to avoid further litigation. Despite the defendants' open confession, according to our judicial correspondent, Judge Onisman Bowen sentenced defendant Nelson Jolo to 15 years imprisonment for armed robbery Madame Mercy Sibo, while defendant Peter Weir and Samuel Toll were slapped with 10 and 17 years imprisonment each for unlicensed possession and sale of controlled drugs and substances in violations of Section 14.85 and 14.89 of the new drug law of Liberia. Solidarity for Trust and National Development (STAN) has announced a house-to-house and street-to-street campaign aimed at rallying citizens ahead of the June 17 protest. The peaceful assembly, to be held under the theme "Enough is Enough," seeks to pressure government to address what the institution termed as national uprising against injustice and misrule. The latest announcement by the leader of the movement marks a strategic shift from a broad-based awareness to direct engagement with communities. And 31 people have been killed and more than 150 injured in Israeli gunfire near an aid distribution center in Gaza, the Hamas-run health ministry and medics say. People said one incident occurred in the early hours of Sunday as people were in queues for aid in Rafah, the south of Gaza. Another incident was said to have happened near a separate aid center in central Gaza, which reports of 14 injured. The group that is providing the aid, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, has denied the claim and said they have been spread by Hamas. The Israeli Defense Force said findings from initial inquiry said its forces had not fired at Gazans while they were near or within 8 points. As of Sunday evening, the situation remained unclear with regards to report of the incidents near 8 distribution centers in Rahaf and Neham's corridor. The BBC was contacted by doctors of the Nisas hospital who said they have found more than 200 people with injuries caused by bullets. Local journalists and activists share footage of bodies and wounded people being transported on donkey cart to the Red Cross Field hospitals in the Mahasa area. The BBC has examined footage of bodies being presented and carried on cars and in the block's lorries in Nazareth Hospital. Gaza Health Ministry said more than 200 cases had arrived at the hospital, including 31 deaths. With this being said, this aside, we close down on all of our news presentation for today. My name is Kate Lindam Toba. I presented.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV. With check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV. Bringing you face-to-face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV. The best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep focal.